What's going on, guys? Johnny on the track back with another video. And we got Vegas. We got the first race in the round of 8 at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, a great track. Vegas is a great mile-and-a-half track. One of the best on the schedule, in my opinion. So excited for this weekend's race on Sunday. Coming off a really, really good week again. I called out AJ Allmendinger on last week's show. I said, I was probably going to go with the top 5. That was my kind of go-to bet. But I gave out place it as a winner if you feel like you want to place it as a winner, because I saw and I looked at that race and I said, AJ Allmendinger, with all these playoff guys fighting for points, he can easily go out and win this race. And that's what he did. And credit to him. So we've been red hot in the playoffs. That hasn't changed, and hopefully it continues. We got 4 more races left. We've got Vegas, Homestead, Martinsville, and Phoenix. So hopefully we can run a nice 4-0 sweep to end this thing. I feel confident about these tracks. I feel confident about this round. So I'm as excited as ever as we go into the end of the season here and find out who's going to be the NASCAR Cup Series champion in early November. But it's still October. It's Vegas week. Here we go. Let's get into bets. All right. I see this race pretty simple. And it starts with a playoff driver. This race has always been won by a playoff driver in the playoff era. This track, to me, is going to be won by one of these guys: Denny Hamlin, Kyle Larson, William Byron. I would put those 3 in that order. Maybe you could put the Hendrick guys first, but those 3, I'm going to say again, Hamlin, Larson, Byron, those 3. I guess pick them in whatever order you want. I'm fine with that. And then I would go Martin Truex Jr. as the 4, and then Christopher Bell as the 5. That is the list of 5 drivers. One of these guys is going to win this race. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. Hendrick dominated this race in the spring. Absolutely dominated this race. Finished 1, 2, 3 with Byron, Larson, Bowman. This was way back when Bowman was just tearing it up in that 48 car pre the injury. He was top 10 after top 10 to start the season. And Hendrick looked strong and stout at the beginning of the season. Now, I say that, but I do think Toyota is going to come to play. That's why I mentioned guys like Hamlin, guys like Truex and Bell. I think they can put up a hell of a fight. Christopher Bell had a good run here earlier this season. You look at Hamlin, who has been the fastest car on high-speed 1.5-mile tracks this season. And Truex, he was the 4th fastest car at Vegas earlier this season, 4th fastest at Charlotte, 2nd fastest at Kansas. He's 9th overall on the high speeds, but that's because he just didn't have it at Texas and Kansas for just kind of bad luck, really bad luck. So Martin Truex Jr., I think, can absolutely bounce back here. He is still my championship pick, and I know he has not performed well in the playoffs, but I think Martin Truex Jr. is gonna somehow make it through this round and win that Phoenix race. And if I believe that, and I'm going to stick to that, I think it might come here at Vegas this weekend. But again, those are the 5 guys I have winning. Now, I usually like to only give out 4 winners. So I think if you want to bet 4 winners, I would probably drop Bell's name out of there and stick with Hamlin, the best car at JGR right now, the two best cars and the only two remaining guys in the drivers' playoffs in Byron and Larson, and my champion, who I think from in terms of the regular season was the best car, Martin Truex Jr. I think those are the four guys you want to bet. If you look, Bell, his odds right now, Christopher Bell, right around plus 1,200. I think that's a good bet. I really do. Let me go through those odds real quick. So DraftKings Sportsbook has Larson at plus 450. They've got Byron at plus 550. They've got Hamlin at plus 550, Truex at plus 750, and like I said, Bell at plus 1,000. Now, here's the interesting thing. If I contrast that, if I go over to my local sports book, Rhode Island Sportsbook, shout out Rhode Island Sportsbook. Let's go through those names again. We're going to have Christopher Bell at 12 to 1. So if you find that value, I would take it. You're going to have Denny Hamlin at 6 to 1. Great value there. You're going to have Larson at 9 to 2. Decent value there. I don't love that. Truex at 15 to 2. That's plus 750, ladies and gentlemen. And then you've got Byron at 11 to 2 plus 550. Great value on Rhode Island Sportsbook. So I say that I bring that up because shop around. You might be able to find these guys at really good numbers. And that's when I would say, if you can find Bell at 12 to 1, I would take Bell. Bell has proven to be a very clutch race car driver. And it would not shock me if he clutches up and wins this thing to lock himself into the to the Final Four, second year in a row for him. But again, those are the guys I like. I think some other maybe prop bets, maybe top fives, top tens. Eric Jones has been proven proving that he is a guy that can perform on these 1.5 mile tracks. He's taken huge strides. That team has made humongous strides over the course of this season. And he is definitely a player here. I think he'll be in this race till the very end. He'll be absolutely in this race. He's had good speed at the 1.5 miles in the playoffs. He was the 7th fastest at the second Kansas race in the playoffs, and then the 5th fastest at Texas. Overall, that puts him 17th fastest because he wasn't really good over early on this season at the high speed 1.5 miles, but he's shown tremendous speed in the playoffs. I like Eric Jones. I think, I don't know, maybe Bowman, if you want to go like a top 5, Alex Bowman. But to me, I don't know. Bowman has been so up and down. I like what he had earlier this season at Vegas. And actually, Bowman recently has been pretty decent. He's strung together a couple good finishes, especially in the playoffs. And it's taken a while. I feel bad for Bowman. It's taken a while for him to really get back into form. But Kansas, he finished 10th, Bristol 13th, Texas 12th, last week at the Roval 8th. So, 3 top 10s in the last 7 races. And you can actually add a top 5 at Indy Road Course. So this kind of late push here has been very impressive for Alex Bowman. I think maybe a top 5 and a top 10 at a track that he's won at. He's performed very well at in his career. I like that bet. I like Alex Bowman in this spot. But I will say, I will caution you. Remember, this race seems to always be about playoff drivers. So as much as I say, hey, Eric Jones is sitting at the board at 40 to 1, and Alex Bowman is sitting here on the board at 30 to 1, I still think you probably want to fade those winners, and you want to go with these guys, Byron, Hamlin, Larson being your top 3, and then Truex and Bell, that tier below. So I'm feeling confident. I feel like we've got a good game plan going in. I think there's good value on the board to take now. And maybe there's good value, post-practice and post-qualifying as well. Maybe you see a guy like Bell start 17th and that number moves to 20 to 1. I'd take it. I'd absolutely take it. I'd feel the same way about Hamlin. Even if one of those guys starts from the rear, take them. Does not matter. This race will come down to playoff drivers. I promise you that. Um, that's where my head is at this weekend, and that's what I think is going to happen this weekend. Want to know what you guys think, though? Definitely put your thoughts in the comments section below. Like this video; it goes a long way for the channel. If you're a first-time watcher, please subscribe. We talk NASCAR bets, we talk NASCAR content. We've got a new draft segment that we do once a week where me and a couple buddies draft any topic in NASCAR. So we did a draft just last week. We drafted the greatest tracks in NASCAR history. We drafted the greatest sponsors in NASCAR history as well. So that is something that we're going to continue to do. And it's been fun. So definitely tune in there. And then, of course, in partnership with the NASCAR Betting Preview Show, appreciate what those guys are doing and helping spread this channel. Make sure you check out all their podcasts on the podcast feed, NASCAR Betting Preview Show on the podcast app. And then tune in Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. on Twitter Spaces. Make sure you check out the NASCAR Betting Preview Show. That is on the NASCAR Betting Preview Show Twitter or X account. So give them a follow and tune in there. Bunch of bettors in the NASCAR realm that talk the best bets, just like myself. So appreciate the partnership there. Like I said, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week, and let's make some money.